What's going on, good people out there in YouTube land? It's the Masked Man, mastermind behind Mental Trip, back with another video. As usual, before we get into the content of this video, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe and all that good YouTube lingo stuff. Now, I want to talk about the impact. More importantly, the negative impact that Chicago has had on the nation and then the world abroad. First, we're going to start off with just the influence period. There's no denying that Chicago has came out of nowhere and just completely just turned everything upside down, positively and negatively. I can't knock Chicago for bringing a different sound to the hip-hop industry, aka drill. That's part of the Chicago culture. That's what the kids was doing before Chief Keef came on the scene, and he knocked it out of the park with Don't Like, and it's been a fight or whatever you want to call it ever since. Just look at some of the words that Chicago has influenced over the past couple of years that you may not even know of. Thoughts comes from Chicago. Getting caught lacking is a phrase that comes from Chicago. A goofy is a lame, you know what I'm saying, or a whack person, like you don't fuck with them, like goofy shit. Ops definitely comes from Chicago, so you can't deny the impact that Chicago has currently has on the hip hop industry and then youth as a whole, and it's pretty much been a downward slope from there. I would say the negative impact is the undeniable violent influence that it's had on our youth. Even sadly, some adults who can't seem to mature at the rate they're supposed to have joined in on this violence too. Chicago has really made it just unsafe to be a rapper, pretty much. Usually the rappers used to be the heroes of the hood. They used to be like the sought after, the moguls, the business owners, the people that, you know, now rappers can't even go back to their own hoods, like, without just some people that want to get up on them. It didn't used to be that way. Of course, there's always been jealous folk who want to see somebody, you know what I'm saying, get shot down or get knocked down. Not even literally shot down, just get knocked down, period. But now, since like Chicago has like glorified gang and violent culture, people are acting on their wishes. That's a direct result of Chicago's drill culture. I mean, besides the youth as a whole, I want to say the cities that have been most affected by this is New York, Philly, Jacksonville, Toronto, and London, England. These cities have been impacted the biggest by the Chicago drill scene. Not saying that any of these cities weren't ever active before, because that would be the biggest load of crap ever, but these post-drill scenes have really been turned up. Like, I would say, and out of all of those, the biggest one is Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I say, is the biggest one because the aforementioned cities always had like a very notable crime rate that we never like was blind to. Jacksonville, not to say there was a lame city, because it never was either. It's just it wasn't really known like that. But like 2016, shit just went up and it's been up. Here's another extremely, and I almost would say annoying, negative impact that Chicago has had on our youth. It's this whole notion of ops. If you don't know what an op is, let me break it down. Op is pretty much the shorthand word of opposition, your opponent, someone who goes against you. All these kids nowadays, for some odd reason, want ops. I don't get that. That is strange. People will turn anything into an op. These kids actually want ops. Even if they don't even have it, they say fuck the ops. I'm like, dude, you don't even, like, I don't think people, because these are people from outside of Chicago, these people don't even know the impact of what an op really is. Because if you really thought about what an op is, which is somebody that wants to get down on you on site at any moment, why would you want that? Like, you might have a false idea that you popping because you got an op. No. Like, and then you got all these people making these drill songs, like, and they talk, fuck the ops, fuck the ops, fuck the ops, fuck the ops. Man, shut up. That shit is irritating as all hell. I swear to God, I can't stand that op shit. Like, cause it's been blown out of proportion to a bunch of people that want ops and don't even have them in real life. Like, just because you had a disagreement with somebody at school doesn't make them an op. You know what I'm saying? Just because you no longer fuck with your coworker anymore doesn't make him or her a op. Like, why y'all want op so bad? That shit is weird to me. And then you had this whole, you have to understand BDGD culture to understand it as a whole. But let's just say that Von and Dirk popularized not being from 63rd. So you got people in Wichita, Kansas saying that they're not from 63rd. Kennesaw, Louisiana saying they're not from 63rd. You got people from Anacortes, Washington saying that they're not from 63rd. I'm like, come on, bro. Stop saying that shit. It's just so whack to me. And then you got BDs and GDs in New York. Not saying that never existed. Once again, it's just now being in the Chicago scene has blown up. It's made it popular and it's been blown out of proportion. I say Chicago is to blame, but it's not Chicago's fault. What do I mean by that? Chicago is to blame because they came out and made it popular. Naturally, when people see this, they want to be cool, they want to ride the wave, they're going to be influenced and inspired. So that's why they're to blame. It's not Chicagoans' fault, however, because Chicagoans have no control over what people do and say. Or you can't fault Chicagoans for like the spike in the crime because they're not making people, nor are they telling people to do this shit. They're really just dry snitching on themselves in the songs of what they've done or what they've seen. They're not telling people to do this shit. Everybody has free will, so when a 17-year-old hears this shit and takes it upon him or herself to go commit a crime, we can't fault Chicagoans for them. Now, the drill culture, blaming Chicago, absolutely. Is it their fault? Not at all. Alright, that's pretty much all I can say about this topic. Chicago really has had a negative impact on the society as a whole, which is really crazy to say because I named 2 international countries who have been affected, even though it's just cities, you know what I'm saying, they have been affected by the Chicago shit, undeniably. That shows the kind of power that Chicago has. So if they can essentially heighten the crime rate, they can definitely lower it, you know what I'm saying? And all they simply got to do is just say, we're tired of this shit and we don't want to do this anymore. Hey, but who knows? Only time will tell, but that's going to bring this video to a close. Once again, it's the Masked Man, Mastermind Behind Mental Trip, back with another video. What's that YouTube lingo? Like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next one, I'm going to holler at y'all. Deuces. Peace.